Good afternoon and welcome to the studios of Independent Television and Radio, Igosa, near Oluku. The program is 60 Minutes Nigeria. It is a current affairs program that creates the platform for very seasoned guests, analysts to dissect national issues and of course issues that crop up in the various states in Nigeria. Once again, welcome on board. My name is Egosa Agbonlao. I have in the studio very distinguished gentlemen, men who have really done well in their choosing fields of endeavor. I have Reverend Benson Ogeraki, who is a clergyman, public analyst, and educationist. Nice to have you with us today.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you very much.
We also have with us a politician, a public affairs analyst, a very seasoned analyst at that, Mr. Osigwe. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good day, viewers.
We also have in the studio today, it's becoming a very regular phase and the people are enjoying his comments on the program, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Nice to have you on the program. Okay. Now, today's program is very crucial because apart from what is happening at the national level, even in Edo State, it is something that needs to be discussed. We are looking at governance. We're looking at the anti-corruption campaign of governments, not only at the federal level, even at the state level. At the federal level, there is a case that is very prominent, and that has to do with the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, is currently being detained at the holding facilities of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja because he was actually arraigned yesterday. Bello was declared wanted by the Anti-Graft Agency in April over an alleged 110 billion naira fraud. Was finally arraigned, and that was on Wednesday. And I must tell you that everyone wants to know the latest about that case. But it's not the only former governor that is having corruption case or fraud allegations to clear. Ifeanyi Okowa, former governor of Delta State, was also recently apprehended by the EFCC. He was detained and granted bail. So many governors, ex-governors, have been arrested. Some prosecuted, some they are still under investigation. Some serving governors are also under investigation. But you know, immunity will not allow the EFCC to arrest any of them until after their tenure. Some are invited for questioning, subsequently detained and arraigned. But in Edo State, the new government, led by Senator Monday Okpebholo, has also set up a verification committee. They said it's not a witch hunt, but it's just to verify and know the status. That's their position. But some persons look at it as a probe of the former government before Okpebholo's government. So we're just looking at all of these generally, but I just need to set the template before our discussion. I will start with Mr. Osigwe, who is a public affairs analyst, to actually give us his opening remark on all of this as regard these EFCC and the fight against corruption, the federal government, state government, fight against corruption. Okay, we'll start with you.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Agbonlao. You see, if there's any appointment, I will not advise anybody to get himself involved. Is the chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes.
The chairman of EFCC?
EFCC.
Okay.
Because when you, from 2002 to today, you can easily count how many chair they have that have headed that same
position.
body. And there is no single one, including the Rubado, the inaugural chairman of that body, that never had issues before he left. What was the issue of Rubado? Let me start with that. It was the investigation of Ibori. Immediately Obasanjo left, Ibori was one of the major sponsors of Yaradua. He came and said, why are you investigating me? He was booted out. All to the very last one. So if there's any appointment that is not juicy for me, for anybody, is the appointment of becoming the chairman of that body. Because like our former president said, when you fight corruption, corruption fights you back. And corruption has many ways of fighting back. But we must take the fight against corruption to be individual. We must not leave that fight alone for the government to carry on. It's a fight that's for me and you, because corruption impairs social, political development of any state or a country. So it's a fight that must be won.
Okay, thank you. That's your opening remark. Let's get Reverend Benson Ogedaki. Now, this issue of corruption has become a monster. And some person will say it's a recorded decimal, in Nigeria. So what's your take on it?
Well, I want to start by saying this. Actually, the corruption have eaten deep into the lives of people who are supposed to stand up against it. In a case where you discover that we are saying we are fighting corruption, and those that are fighting the corruption are also corrupt. So it will take far more than what we are doing now to be able to fight it. In a case where you hear somebody will tell an individual that is in a particular political section, that if you cross over, your sins will be forgiven, is an evidence to show that anybody that is in their trap is like a witch hunt, which is supposed not to be. So if we must fight corruption in this country, everybody have to rise up, not just rising up, but especially those that are with the authority that are supposed to actually stand up to discipline those that are erring. They should be able to do it and let it be known to everybody that yes, what we are doing is not witch hunting, but it's actually to correct a system that we help to develop this country. So, and I want to say, though I know that we still have more time, but I want to say that if we must fight corruption in this country, if things must go well, everyone that are involved have to do it with a clear heart, knowing that they are doing it not to fight an individual, but to fight a system that will help the nation to grow.
Okay, thank you very much. Bishop Lucky,
well,
your opening remarks.
Corruption have gone deep and have entered to our homes. In our homes, mother sided children who are doing wrong attitude. That is a corrupt practice.
Yes.
Now, it happened to our churches. Now, the only pastor that preach against some certain evil in society, member left the church. So people just decided to withdraw. Now, the first thing that to fight corruption, for the day the person looking for public office, we start checking his record. He must have a clean record. Then the person must be ready to give account, accountability somebody that give account of everything he is doing. Make it open to the public. This is what I want to do. I want to tie road. The road is for one so amount. Then we all know everything. Then there will be open database. That's what we can fight corruption. Without that, corruption after service, 50% after service, will never end corruption.
Thank you very much. I know where you are going to. Okay, that's the man, will I say celebrated former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello. He was arraigned yesterday. But what actually drew my attention to this case, I just hope that you can see that he's waving his hands to his fans. And so many persons are still hailing him, coming to pay homage to him, even in court. You could see some people bowing their heads, paying homage to him. Yes, he's still a suspect, because until found guilty, until his sentence is being viewed or is being seen as innocent. But the allegations are there. The EFCC has already filed has filed their own charges against this former governor. So I'm not saying he's guilty, but we didn't see any remorse. Gentlemen, I'll start with Phyllis Osigwe again, who is a very renowned public analyst, as I said. Looking at Yaya Bello, yes, he's a suspect, but we didn't see any remorse. This is a man that was evading arrest from the reports that we got from the EFCC. Now he was arraigned, no remorse, no sobriety. He was still behaving as if he's campaigning for a public office in court, somebody that is being alleged to have embezzled so much, over 100 billion. That's the allegation anyway. What's your comment on that?
Yes, like you rightly said, he's still assumed to be innocent, proven otherwise. So you cannot accuse him of showing himself in the court. But again, it's very unfortunate, like particularly in the case of Kogi State. You know what happened? This investigation actually started before this man left the office. And as we speak today, the governor of Kogi State is saying that no money is missing in Kogi State. And as we speak today or before now, do you know that the governor of Kogi State, along with over 19 other governors, through their attorney generals, took the federal government to court and EFCC, claiming that that body is an illegal body, until the Supreme Court said otherwise. And the judge even said, he told the Kogi State people, you have a personal interest in this, because they were doing everything to prevent Yaya Bello from coming to face the trials. Not until that judgment was pronounced by the Supreme Court. That is why you now see Yaya Bello coming out to face the law. But of course, I know the EFCC must have done a lot of underground work. And like you can see, the $120,000 that was paid for the children's school was being returned by the school. Because when they go to find out that this money were illicit money, they have to return the money to the coffers of federal government. Unlike the case of Delta State, when the Delta State people came and said no money was missing. But by the time the federal government recovered certain amount from UK, they were not saying it's our money. How will you not say it's our money? But you said there was no money that was missing. So what I'm saying, and you can see that because the people don't have sovereignty, the sovereignty belongs to the people. You see a governor leaving the office trying to impose another person. Just the reason of doing that is just to cover the tracks because of such issues. But thank God that the whistleblowers or the umbrella is getting wider now, that we individually can take this fight of anti-corruption to the next level, because we cannot rely on the government alone. We cannot rely on the institutions alone, because the institutions are weak. We need a stronger institution rather than stronger men. But what we see today, like in the case of Yaya Bello, people were coming to the TV station like Jason Onosega saying that he supported Tinubu, this one. So does it mean that because he supported Tinubu, he cannot be arraigned before the court for allegation of fraud, of corruption? So you see, the fight must go on. Either you like it or not, systematically we are getting there. But the fact is, it's a good thing that is before the court today. You made mention of
Ifeanyi
Okowa. Okay, what was the allegation? There were a certain amount that was given for derivation. And in the constitution state, so in the oil producing area of the state, so amount was supposed to be given to the percentage, 60% was supposed to be given to them for their own local development. At the end of the day, it was found out that such money was never paid. We were never paid to the such money were never paid to the oil producing communities that were supposed to be earning that money. That was the money that amounted to 1.3 trillion.
Okay.
These are issues that we need to hold our leaders accountable.
Thank you very much, Phyllis Osigwe. We'll come back to you, but we'll just take a brief break now. And after that, my guests are ready to actually dissect this issue. Okay, nice to have you back after the break. Phyllis Osigwe made some very vital comments as regards the people understanding the fact that public office holders need to be held accountable. You were just about concluding that remarks, Phyllis Osigwe.
Yeah. Like I said, the war against corruption should be inborn. It should be for the people, because we cannot expect the leadership to come and fight this war, because they are, like he said, or like someone said there, they are more or less involved. They are more involved than even the layman, even the common man. So it's our war. We have to join us with the authorities to ensure that anybody that is found wanted should be brought to the books.
Okay. Bishop Lucky, now looking at the public office holders, they are supposed to be the servants.
Yes, sir.
But the way things are, I bet the people are the servants to the public office holders. During campaign, they will need and say, vote for me, we are servants. But once they get elected, they don't behave as servants again. You know? So the money, the funds that belong to federal government, belong to state or agencies, belong to the people. And they are not supposed to fight. So how do you think this corruption problem can really be tackled?
Well, number one, I said before a man seek public office, from there he come up with an interest and want to become AYZ in the public office, the people should check his background.
Okay.
Who is this man? What have he done? What is he does he have a clear record? If you clear record, you remove him. Because if they enter the public office with pity for them and put them there because they are crying, leading up and down, when they enter there, the real their surface. They come to us, they hide the real them. When they enter, they now bring, this is me. You can't do anything. It's already there. And when he left, he already used money to settle some people who have become fans. And when you are trying to fight the man, these ones are fighting you. Then if we are able to do that background check to know who is this person, we have a good people in the office. But no background check in Nigeria. Because Nigeria will be a country that if I can hear you, you are good to go. Now that background check, the problem we have in this country. And number two, political everything is politicized in Nigeria. Okay. If you are party A is there, then nobody can touch you. Even when the police arrested you, the party leader will come and remove you and tell you and say some grammar, that's the end. Until the party in power allow the agency, ESC, to do their job freely without interference, you have a good, the corruption will easily disappear. But if you are fighting party B because party is in power, you're not fighting corruption. You are withholding that person. Yeah. You are trying to make that person to become part of your party. Like you are bringing Bello. It took time for this man to surface. Why? Because his party is in power. They were trying to hide the whole thing. Even the government said there's no only law. It's his boy. He brought it to power. He brought the guy there. Then the guy is trying to cover his task, his master, and will not be arrested. And even the federal government is usually starting covering the matter because they won't come out openly. But all I know that a time is coming in this country that the king that they know Joseph will appear. That will help us.
Okay, Reverend Bessie, how do we really tackle this monster in Nigeria? Because corruption is, you saw the way Yaya Bello agreed, like I said just in my own comments, he's still a suspect. But I didn't see him sober at all. Somebody that be declared wanted, you know, for you to be declared wanted is not a good thing. But in foreign countries, for instance, in Asian countries, if you are taken to court for corruption and found guilty, is death.
Like in Asian countries?
In some Asian countries, it's death for corruption, that you stole the country's money, that person will be killed. But in Nigeria, it's like we romance corruption. People that are alleged to be corrupt, even when they are found guilty, we see bow ahead, we see hail them. You know. So, what's your take on
So, my beloved, I want to say this. You know, one of the major things that can actually strengthen a man's life is the Bible.
Yes, sir.
The Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, it says, what can the righteous do? The reason I'm trying to reflect the Bible into this aspect is because the people, the individual, the officers, who have been delegated the authority to actually correct or fight or destroy the worm of corruption, you find out that they themselves are not ready yet. There is no clear purpose that they are actually there to fight corruption. In a place where you discover that the man that everybody are looking up to, that this is the man that want to fight corruption, and you discover that himself is corrupt, how will such a man be able to fight corruption? The first thing that must be done is that those that want to fight the corruption, they must have a clean hand. So that the person you are fighting cannot also be telling you of your own. That is one. Number two, majority of our leaders have not actually taken this nation as a place of their own. Why did I say so?
Okay.
If you know that this is my own, and you know that, oh, it's an opportunity for me to actually prove to the people that I love this nation, whatever that you want to do will go far beyond you. Not the one that in the process of trying to do some certain things, you are trying to look, let me use this as to analyze it.
Yes.
For instance, we are here in the studio, and I have some things maybe against ITV. And because I'm in the studio here, I may not want to mention some things. I'm just using
Yes, an example.
So maybe probably because if I should say that or point it out, they might not allow me to come here anymore. It shows that I don't actually love ITV. Number two, that I am selfish. Selfish, the reason I personalize is because I want to create an avenue for me to come back again.
Yes. So you are not saying the truth.
I'm not saying the truth.
I know what you're trying to explain.
So that is why you discover that most of our officers who have once had the opportunity to lead this country, to lead the state or any aspect, have not actually have the true love for this nation. Some of them will just step into the office. They are thinking of up to 4 or 5 generations of their family. Even the ones that have not been, children that are yet to be born. So because of that, they dip hand into many things. And the third thing that also leads them to it is the fear of the unknown, the fear of tomorrow. If I live well now, and I decided to go with what I am permitted to take, if I leave this office, will there be opportunity again for me to be able to live well? And can you imagine, sir, a man who don't have personal business, who has made the country to be his business empire, such a man, there is no way he can be delivered from corruption. Because you don't discover that if you leave the office today, there is no hope of survival tomorrow, because there is no business. How many of them can actually boast enough and said, I started this business and the business is thriving. I started this, that even if the country did not pay them, that they will say, yes, I can survive. You know, my bishop said something just now, which I love so much, when he was talking about checking the background of these people before you give them an opportunity. How many of the politicians that you actually discover that have a thriving business, that are actually imparting this nation, that you now talk about that, oh, this politician, he has been able to successfully establish a company, that you know that without the money that is coming from the nation or with, they can be able to actually keep on their life. Many of them, 80%, I can say it, 80% of politicians, when they leave government office, you discover that they are back to square one. That is why if there is any shift to another political party, The other ones, just give them 2 years. You discover that they are going along the street begging. Why? The ability for them to be able to do 1 or 2 things are not there. So we must start by telling these people that before you can take the public office, what are the things that you have done on your own as an individual? So we just need to start that. And another thing is that the people that are in the office now, they must be held accountable while they are still in the office. So for me, I suggest that the immunity should be removed. Not the one that you are still in the office, you are talking about immunity, so you cannot be arrested. Let it be removed, so that even while you are in the office, if you are found guilty, you should be punished for it. It's not the one that they said they arrested any of the leaders, then you are taking them to a place and you now discover that even where they are taking you to is almost like a hotel, a court. So, which is not the best. So, if we must fight corruption, everybody must rise up to it.
Okay. Before we take a break, I'll just quickly mention this. Nigeria has become like a theater, and that's the reason why we are here today, talking about corruption. Corruption has undermined the development of Nigeria. Daisy Madueke, the former Minister of Petroleum, she's unable to enter Nigeria. She's like a fugitive because of this issue of corruption. Because when Buhari's regime just set in, she left the country and didn't return. Corruption. We've heard of persons who run away because they don't want to be arrested by the EFCC. Corruption. Then we've seen a situation where some persons who have been given the responsibility to fight or tackle corruption, we are now involved in corruption. Some, we've seen a police officer who was arrested, senior police officer. He will arrest criminals and then he will rob the criminals. So whatever he's able to recover from the criminals, he will take. We've seen that before in this country, and we are saying no to corruption. We'll talk more after this break. Okay, after the break, it's always a delight to have you because you spending your 60 minutes with us gives us joy. So it's a delight to have you on the program, and my guest, Bishop Loke Monabese, is still in the studio. We have Felix Osigwe is still in the studio. We have Reverend Benson Ogiraki. And we are unanimously negating corruption. That corruption is unacceptable. If Nigeria must actually be repositioned to its prime of place in the Committee of Nations, it means corruption must be tackled. We've seen a situation where some government officials will borrow money and they loot the loan. It happens in Nigeria. You don't borrow to eat, you borrow to invest. But in Nigeria, we've seen a situation where people borrow money on behalf of the people and they loot it. So we're going to ask the politician in our midst, Felix Osigwe, why are politicians really, why are so many of them really culprits in terms of this corruption?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank God you've decided to narrow it down to politicians now.
No, just for this, this question you're asking.
You are right.
Yes.
But you know that the governor, the local government chairman does not actually steal money without the governance of the civil servants.
You tell us.
It's certain. We cannot only be blaming the head. We have to look at the structure itself. My brother, the civil servants are even more corrupt than the politicians. Let's assume you have something to do with any of the ministry. Go there, your file will be there. I stated this before, a time I came here, your file will be there. As long as nothing is exchanging and the file will be there, no, it will not move. Do you know that most of this work you see the government, the government is, the ministries are giving out now, there are certain percentage of a percentage amount that will be paid to the ministry. If a road contract is given to you, you are expected to part with 30% of that contract sum. How do you not face the road? Is that not corruption?
Yes, it is.
The governor, the executive governor, the chairman only have a bureau to sign. But the paperwork has been done by somebody. Who are the people doing the paperwork? The civil servants. Corruption is everywhere in this country, either in the church, in the mosque, in the marketplaces, everywhere. But how do we fight it? That's just what we want to discuss about. And the only way to fight it, to me, I still believe in having strong institutions. Because I started this program by saying that right from the inaugural chairman of EFCC to today, there is no EFCC chairman that have come that within label as corrupt, even when they are seen not to be corrupt. But they are all corrupt. To you, but you see some of them actually doing the work the way it has to be done. But we still label them to be corrupt. But what I'm saying is that go to the police station. They are corrupt. Bail is free, bail is free. Have you ever gone to police station and get bail free? I don't know if you are paying for the fine. You are paying for you are paying for the bail. They even on the road. Okay, we are talking about the refinery is working today. Okay, let me narrow it down to the governor now. Thank God, we see that.
You are not paying for bail, you are paying for the fine.
Look at now, our executive governor just successfully suspended the market unions. We saw the repo effort. That things gradually go down to a very reasonable extent.
Yes.
How did we get to that level? And you can still see somebody say today that she's the life president of the Market Union Association. That you are stealing from the common man. A man will go to market and brings his food product to the market. They will determine how much they will sell that same product. They will even give you that went to the farm to bring your product.
Yes.
The amount they will sit down and collect from the market, they will just give you a small period. The agbero you see today, they cannot drive cars because they even enjoy more than the driver driving the cars. So where do we start this fight from? So it has to be a general campaign.
Yes.
And we pray to God to touch there are some good leaders. But because of the level of corruption in the country, we cannot really differentiate who is good and who is bad. But at least there are still good people we can say this man is doing this work according to the oath of office he took. Even governors, there are governors that are selfless. There are presidents that are selfless. Buhari never stole money. He might not know what to do, but Buhari was a very upright man. They might be still under him, but at least on that steadfastness, Buhari was okay. So what I'm saying, Nigerians are still good people. It's just a few bad areas around us, but we can still all together fight this scourge of corruption, and I'm sure.
Thank you, Phyllis Osigwe. Thank you very much, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Now, anybody that desires to be a leader, you said the people must do their private investigation and check their background.
Yeah.
Even before, during the primary, before you say this person is going to be governor, or this person is going to be local government chairman, that there's need for background check. I agree with you. But don't you think that the influence of money bags in our political system seems to be affecting everything that we are doing? Because if you don't have money, you can't even go through the primaries of most of the political parties for any elective position.
That's true.
Yes, and back to you, Bishop.
Well, you see, the problem of corruption started a long time ago in this country.
Yeah.
From 1960. Our independence got from corruption system. Because we were not balanced enough to have it dependent. Our leader, they just came aboard and look at it and push it right away. We start building it gradually by what? Gradually. It need to increase. To our generation now becomes so open that, this country is corrupt and dead. Now, they should bring a system that they should remove money for politics so that everybody can go and get the form. They select people that are qualified to do the job. But it will not be possible because Nigeria have already built the political system on money. If you have no money, you cannot run politics. If you like have the best qualification, you cannot get there. Now, that system, to overturn that system, it will take a long time. Because even people that are in the street now, their brain is not working fine. Their brain have been so programmed by our leader that they reason money.
By poverty.
Now, even our children that are in school now, their brain are so programmed that they don't reason integrity, they reason riches. Even our churches, so your pastors are so programmed their member after wealth, that if you are not preaching prosperity that will favor the system of corruption that they are doing, you are not part of that vision. Then if we must fight corruption, we have to delete all these systems. And who also not to delete the system ready for war. A very mighty war, more than civil war.
How do you mean?
Okay. You have to delete that system,
yes,
to bring integrity to Nigeria, to churches, to home, to all set of this country.
Yes.
The person is ready for real war, because anybody that is be eating from this angle, look at the recent development of this new governor now. He banned Agbero, he canceled union. A certain woman came and said she's a life president. And so people gather around her, shouting, they say they are life president, who gave you life president? Now the governor, like, is facing war. Very mighty war. Yes. He's not telling me, not telling you, but he's facing it. Now, some people go to spiritualists, some go to the doctor to do so many dirty things. Okay, that the governor came and told her that Society Hospital were not finished, but they commissioned the hospital, showed the other part that were not finished. And when the thing came on, people from, if you follow Facebook, people were attacking the governor. Why was he public that side? Forget that side, finish the job. Just finish the job. You see, for the governor to get, anybody to get corruption in this country, he will face real war. And we have so many enemies. And most of the people, a time will come when the pressure is too much on that person, he may join the group. Or we just sit down like Buhari, watch things happen. Because Buhari just look at it, he just look at the situation, just sat down and watch this happen. Because he's tired of the fight. Now, until that is done, remove money from politics, remove money from our politics system, they make politics a casual part-time job, yeah, not a regular job. Because in the general police, who are you, a politician? It's like a vocation. Who are you, a politician? Who are you, a politician? But in the other country, political matter is a part-time job. All of them have their business, and all of them have no business. I tell you, I say there's a restaurant close to my house. I know when that guy became a councillor. He was living in one room. I was even taking care of him. After he became councillor, in 3 months, he became a landlord. Built a very powerful house. I want to meet him. I said, 3 months from now, you became a landlord. How do you go to say I should forget about that? Then I said, okay, first, I should forget about it. You will be giving us sand to grade this road every year. Otherwise, you have problem with me. Now, this gathered some funny boys, some people who have no job, they don't go to school, no level vocation, cannot this area, start giving them cigarettes, so many stupid things. And I say, are you helping these people? Somebody is already useless. You are making more useless. Now, those people now, they now become a supporter. When they will come aboard in our area, in our street, they will say, no, you talk too much. I say, no, he will fix this road. That's why we voted for him. Now, until we have, now I know I have many enemies in my streets. Yes, I know, I'm aware. But I don't have to give it down. Because I know that it's taken by force, or we remember where we are.
Sure worry.
Then it's taken by force, remember where we are. See, all of us will take it by what? Force. Just the way you actually give us platform to talk. So I told you, I say, many years ago I went to EBS. I present a certain tape to them. They now edit it. When I start seeing it, I start necessary.
Like Bishop,
you wait till I say, this is not my. But I just fed up and I withdraw.
Okay.
Until God brought me to this place.
Okay. So
now, because all this thing.
How do you think is the way forward now?
The way forward is like this.
Yes.
Number one, money politics should be a council. 100% council. The unionism should be dead. Does not exist at all. They should kill union out of our system.
Okay.
Okay. Out of our system. Those building miscreant society
yeah,
should be arrested.
Miscreants. Okay.
Yeah, people that abuse miscreant society, they gather people together, they teaching them wrong way of life. Feeding them with a cigarette and so many hard drugs. They should be arrested. Bring society to a point that we will not be afraid of crime and follow the order of right doing. By so doing, corruption will go down gradually.
Thank you very much, Bishop Lucky. I believe you understand what Bishop Lucky has just said. What he has said, let me just highlight it. There is need for us not to celebrate corruption. If anybody is corrupt, the society should abhor that person. Society should not accept that person. So the person will know that what he or she has done is wrong. And there's no need for anybody to be empowering miscreants. Instead of helping them to acquire skills, to learn, get involved in vocational training and all of that, you are giving them money to begin to misbehave and be hailing you whenever you enter your area. Is not good. Well, we'll come back to Benson. Reverend Benson, yes. Yeah, you spoke at length just now. But the issue is this. If you are to advise governments, yes, advise public office holders, what will you tell them?
The first thing I want to say is that they should not see position as a reward. Okay. They should see that opportunity that is given to them as a responsibility. Number two, they should see it that they own that integrity and testimony at the end of that responsibility to themselves, to their children, to their immediate family, and to the society. Because in a place where you discover that your own child will ask you, Dad, or so and so person, how did you live? What was your testimony when you were in this office? Yeah. You have to make sure that you stand up to the responsibility. For instance, my cousin, Evas Mashajo Ege, he called the children one day, and I was there. He told the children, he said, if you go to any office in this nation, and somebody said, your father, I hate him, he says, slap the man no matter the position. He said, that means that person is corrupt. I'm saying this, and I know that a lot of people are watching it. And he's still saying it every day, up to yesterday. He said, go to all the offices that he has worked to the extent he became the number 3 in this country. Yet, he is still bold enough to say it and say, go there and check. And by the grace of God, the man is just living his life. So
political officers should be able to openly call for probe.
Yes.
Probe should not be seen like witch hunting.
No. So they should be able to say, yes, go to... Look at Peter Obi. They keep telling people, I was in this office, go there, check. That is a man of integrity. And I want them to have it like that. And I also want to say this. Our immediate family, the immediate family of the leaders, should tell their own sons or their daughters that are going into political office that they should not go there and bring shame and disgrace. It's not all money, it's not all wealth that are good. The Bible describes it, any wealth that is gotten out of the normal system. It says it's a gravel, stone in the mouth. And do you know what? Such money bring death. Such money bring evil. Such money bring affliction. If you must steal, never you steal public funds, because the hand of God must be against you. And I want to say this, every leader who knows that they love this country, do what others will see that you actually love this country. Remove your hand from evil, because the Bible says the wages of sin is death. Stop stealing.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We just get the thoughts of Felix Osigwe now. Now, we are gradually concluding to this program. We've seen that corruption is a problem. You've said a lot of things. But if you are to directly advise the federal government or those in charge of agencies fighting corruption, what would you tell them?
Yes, I think the fight against corruption is on. But what I will advise the government is that don't make money available to be stolen. Ensure that every money that is being given to the MDAs, ministry, agency, and departments, and be tailored to projects. Okay. And there should be effective supervision to ensure that any money that is being appropriated for such project is carried out in that same manner. But again, you see, he was saying that somebody going to a public office and coming back. It is the same people, the same family people, the neighbors that was there. You know, Sam, he was a councillor. What did he do? You see, what did he do? He didn't do anything. You see, the fact is that whether we like it or not, corruption is bad. Corruption has a way of fighting back. Let me give you instances. You see the roads that are being done by the NDDC today. You know they have a supervisory department. They will go there at the end of the day, they will give the envelope. That road in 2-3 months' time to wash away. Who are the people suffering it? It might even be some of the NDDC workers live around that place. So what I'm going to say is that we should empower institutions, not individuals. Let this institution be stronger. Let's have a means of appointing the people who are responsible for anti-corruption, encourage them, give them all the necessary backup to ensure that their work is done effectively to prevent further damage to the economy and the country. Thank you.
Okay, Bishop Lucky.
Well, I'll tell the federal government they should do open policy.
Okay.
This is it. Anything they want to do, let we the public be aware how much I give the contract, the how it's going, so that we have our own data, so that by the time I leave the office, we can hold the person accountable. But because otherwise, this corruption will never stop. And on the last one, the government should train people into vocational work. Let them have their handwork. Remove them from the street. In our church, I have only one house. But I have people that have trained thousands. Because I believe that if I die today, I will not be buried in all the houses. It's just only one. And even if I choose to sleep in 2 rooms in the night, I'm already mad. Then I choose to just, I'm contented with that. I believe one thing that if you say you are rich or you are wealthy, and you cannot help people to out of state of frustration, you are not worthy. That you are adding evil to the society. The government will create a movement for training people in vocation. Capture them if you can capture them. Capture them, carry them to there by force. Learn this job. So
that the youth should be trained.
Yeah. On Sunday, I have a daughter, my Christian daughter. He refused to go to school, refused to do anything. I went to her house on Sunday. I captured with my 2 ushers to take her Monday to where she will learn tailoring. Register for her, put her there, told the boy, Imo, if you want to change him, he must learn this word. None of my spiritual children will become useless to society. Is there now? Is there doing it? If I have not captured him, we know, some people need some force to get this done. Government should use force to get it done.
Thank you very much. Just your closing remarks, Reverend Benson. Just a quick one.
I want to say this, that the citizens of Nigeria, this fight is not for an individual. That is when I say an individual, it should not be left alone for a set of people, but all of us should join our hands together to fight it so that we can have a better nation.
Thank you. Felix Osigwe, closing remarks, quick one.
Yes, it's a collective fight, and we should all join our hands together to ensure that we kick corruption out of our system. Thank you.
Okay. Bishop Lucky, a quick one.
Before, the government should train the youth, bring them out of the street and train them, and they will see the better country for us.
That's our program for this week, 60 Minutes Nigeria. We've talked about corruption being a monster that must be destroyed. And we've seen that it's not just only the politicians that are corrupt, but we've seen that other Nigerians are involved, aiding and abetting, you know, collecting money at checkpoints when you are armed. Even if you didn't point the rifle at anybody, but you are carrying arm and you are stretching your hand, the person will be afraid of the arm and give you the money. So you are obtaining by force. And we are also happy that some public office holders have also spoken against corruption. We must stop it. If Nigeria is to move forward, corruption must stop. On that note, I thank you for being a part of this program. I want to thank my guest, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Thank you very much. It really emphasized the need to train the youths. Many youths are out of school. Children are out of school. They need training. Felix Osigwe, thank you very much. And Reverend Benson Ogerake, thank you. That's our program. You have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.